Maserati Merak. It's a very, very interesting drive, I must say. You're literally sitting on the ground. You're literally leaning back in the seating position. But this is typical Italian sports car. And if you're expecting anything else, you're dreaming. But this is what makes it lekker, that it's completely impractical, but it's such a great set of lines this car has in it. It shares a lot of similarities, I think, to the Ferrari Dino of the time. There's an interesting history with this, and I'd like to share it with you as we continue this drive. What's immediately unusual about this car is the color scheme. I believe it to be the original color. In yellow, they say if you want your car to stand out at a car show, you paint it yellow. Immediately, you can feel there's a... Man, I can't tell you how low we are on the ground here with this Maserati Merak. It feels like I'm scraping my bum on the ground here. And in yellow, it is just such a fantastic piece of kit. We're just about to get onto the freeway now. I really look forward to taking on for a little bit of a stretch your legs a little bit. Now, this is something immediately present and obvious about these Italian sports cars, is the small attention to the detail, like this leather wrapped around the steering wheel. This is just, it's fantastic. These little toggle switches over here just make all the difference. It makes you feel like you're sitting in something special, you know? And the freeway is in front of us. Let's give it a bit of horns here. Yeah! And it goes so lekker. Whew. Confident little sports car. Baie lekker. Yes, like. Man oom. Maserati Merak. I've always liked these. I never ever thought I'd get to drive one. It's not like driving a modern sports car. These are exceptionally rare, and you certainly do love it when you have the opportunity to take one out for a cruise, you know? These Meraks are starting to demand big bucks all over the planet right now. You couldn't buy one for under R1 million, which essentially is the equivalent of what you'd need to spend on an entry-level Porsche that's a couple of years old. So they're not cheap, but they certainly are very eccentric and interesting to drive. That's exactly what you'd expect from an Italian sports car. Very short gears, all the nice little interior touches are all in leather, and it roars a certain kind of way when you do give it a bit of gas. And then remember, this is carbureted. This is way before fuel injection and the likes. And man, this is just an iconic sports car, and it's such a pleasure to be able to take us out for a drive and get a feel what she's like on the road, because there's just nothing, there's no other way to do it. And you just take it out on the road and give it a bit of a cruise. And back down into second, back into third. Just listen to how that rumble there, bro. Can you hear that? Woo! Liewe Jenne, dis mooi. Now this is Kurtie's happy space. An old sports car that's got all the character, and I can't tell you how lekker and how fabulous it is to drive something like this, because it's not clinical, it's not super clean, it doesn't have all of the clinical gear movements. Everything over here is old school, it is analog. The linkages on the gears, you can feel them. When you hit the accelerator, you can hear the carburetors opening up and sucking that air in. This is what I do this for. This is fabulous. Yeah! That's this. 50 randjies in jou maxi spaarrekening, jou bloody bliksem. Now, ladies and gents, I don't know if you checked that out over there, but how low that car is off the ground. You're literally about 2 inches off. And what we have today is a 1982 Maserati Merak SS. This is a 3 liter. It is the smaller version or the sister to the Maserati Bora. The Maserati Bora's got a whole glass black back canopy over here, unlike this one. Its back rear windscreen is very tiny and it stops just before. This is all empty over here. This is called an anti-bird shit windscreen. You're going to be really creative as a bird. Try and shit on that particular back windscreen over here because it's about that big and it's slightly inward angled, so to speak. Also, as in any Italian car, the Champagnolo or Champagnolo, so what's it? Champagnolo, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. Champagnolo wheels are standard on these old school Italian sports cars. Take a quick squiz underneath here. This is the 3 liter motor that accompanies this car. It's slightly smaller than its sister, the Bora, which is a 4.7 liter, and it certainly gave the cabin room a little more space by having a smaller configuration engine. This is a V6, the Bora was a V8. This is from 1982, and this one in the yellow color is particularly attractive. It just sticks out like a 19-year-old at a swingers club. It's just fantastic. The competition for this particular Merak in 1982 was the Ferrari Dino, which was also a 6-cylinder 2+2. This one had slightly less horsepower than the Ferrari Dino. Well, in the 70s, Maserati was owned by Citroën, the French brand, and it was later acquired by Alessandro Di Tommaso, who produced the Di Tommaso Pantera we all love so much. So this is from that Di Tommaso factory. This was produced a good couple of years later. I do believe that this is one of the last Maserati Meraks produced by Alessandro Di Tommaso, and this is an 82 version in yellow. Sexy, vintage, sports car. Love it.